Hello, Biology 2. This is Mr. B, and we are getting ready to start our first official flipped lesson, and it's going to be over Chapter 21, Section 1, the Kingdom Fungi. So, as you guys can see in this picture, fungi are what we know as our mushrooms. Now, this is a relatively new kingdom because they used to be classified together with plants because people looked at a fungus, they saw they grew in the woods just like a plant. They kind of have almost had a similar structure to plants, but upon further evidence and kind of work from a lot of great scientists, we know that they are completely separate from plants and they really share no characteristics. So they are their own complete separate branch from plants. So to get started, what are those defining characteristics that make them different from plants? So first off, the main characteristics of fungi is that they are eukaryotic heterotrophs that have cell walls. So eukaryotic and heterotroph should be review words from Biology 1, but I'm going to make sure you guys know what they mean. Eukaryotic just refers to a cell that is a complex cell that has organelles and a centralized nucleus. So that is what eukaryotic. You remember prokaryotic were the ones that kind of really didn't have a lot of organelles and maybe had a nucleus. So that is what fungi are. They're eukaryotic, and heterotrophs means that they have to obtain their food from an outside source. They cannot make food for themselves. And they have a cell wall, and that cell wall is contained of chitin, which is a complex carbohydrate. So the next thing is how fungi eat. So we said they were heterotrophs, so they're not going to produce their own food like plants do. So they depend on other organisms for their food. They digest food outside of their bodies and then absorb it. So the way that fungi, one type does it, is they absorb nutrients from decaying matter in the soil, or it doesn't even necessarily have to be in the soil, just decaying matter from anything. And these are what we're going to know as the decomposers. So these are the ones that are breaking down a lot of the dead materials that we see out in the woods. These are really important if you guys remember the ecology unit from Biology 1. And some other fungi are parasites, and these are ones that are going to absorb nutrients from their host. So these are things like actually ringworm is not actually a worm. It's a parasite that can, or it's not a parasite, it's a fungus that can grow on humans. So even though ringworm is called worm, the only reason it's called that is because it grows in a circle. So some of the structure and function of the fungi. So to look at their structure, most of them are multicellular. Actually, all of them are multicellular except for yeasts. So multicellular obviously means just composed of more than one cell. So when we look at fungi, that's going to be another defining characteristic. Unless we have a little yeast, which is again important in bread, makes it rise, they're all going to be multicellular. And also fungi are going to be made up of thin filaments called hyphae. Hyphae, that's pronounced hyphae, and each hypha is only one cell thick. So how this is broken down is, we'll go over this in class. A hypha makes up a hyphae, and then these hyphae are kind of just long thread-like structures that kind of go out, and that's how, I guess I would describe them as the roots of a of a fungus. They're the ones that are going to absorb the nutrients. So one distinguishing characteristic is that some fungi have cross walls that divide the hyphae into cells with one or two nuclei. So then there's kind of almost a little more structure there where things can pass only through those little cross walls. As you can see, there's little gaps there. However, there are some fungi that have no cross walls, and it's almost just kind of like everything's big and just floating around and kind of transfers from one thing to the next. So that is one way that scientists kind of tell the difference between the two types of funguses. Some have hyphae without cross walls, some have hyphae with. So the next thing, that's what kind of the external structure is. If you went down into the ground and dug around a mushroom, you're going to find those hyphae everywhere. So some other structures on the hyphae is there are bodies of multicellular fungi are composed of many hyphae that are tangled together in a thick mass called a mycelium. So now we have a hypha, many hypha make a hyphae, many hyphae make a mycelium. So again, we'll go over this in class just so we can all see it and it makes a lot more sense. So the mycelium is what's going to permit a large surface area to come into contact to the food source through which it grows. So these again are the roots. So that are going to spread out, and they're going to cover a lot of space for the fungus to obtain its food. And here is a picture of how this is kind of broken up, how it would look. The mycelium, as you can see, are the multiple hyphae, and then up into the hyphae there's a fruiting body. So this is what we see above the ground usually, and tomorrow is where we're going to pick up on what the fruiting body is actually responsible for. So just remember that hypha leads to hyphae, which leads to mycelium, which composes a fruiting body. Again, we'll go over that. Just if you have any questions, let me know.